Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Diana Sanchez. I'm the Senior Director of Film here at TIFF. Very excited to have you all joining us for this special events program of The Boy from Medellín. It's a live stream with J Balvin and Matthew Heineman. Very excited to have them both with us today to celebrate the new documentary that's playing here at TIFF 2020. As you join us today, we encourage you to reflect on the land that you are on. It's exciting because I know this evening we have people from all around the world joining us. So we are thinking about where we are at different parts of the world. Think about who the traditional keepers of the land are, what the treaty relationship is, or if it's unceded territory. We are located on the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit and the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee. The territory is within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant and is home to many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We are grateful to work on this land. I want to give a sincere and very grateful thank you to our lead sponsor, Bell, our major sponsors, RBC, L'Oreal, Paris, and Visa, and to our major supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto for their continued support. This has been a very challenging year, and it's been incredible the way that our partners have just pulled together and the teams have pulled together to make TIFF 2020 happen. I also want to thank our members and donors. You help us create a more informed, engaged, and connected world. Thank you so much for everything, all the support at this TIFF 2020. Really excited about the conversation we're going to have this evening. We have a couple of guests from the film, The Boy from Medellín. It's the latest documentary from Matthew Heineman. It follows J Balvin. He's a four-time Latin Grammy winning Colombian reggaeton star, born in Medellín, from where he joins us today. He's reached #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and was nominated for the Grammy Award for Record of the Year. He has sold 35 million singles worldwide, reached 25 billion streams, and as of April 2020, he was one of the top 5 most streamed artists on Spotify. His most recent album, Colores, was released in March 2020. We also have Matthew Heineman with us. He's an Oscar-nominated and Emmy-winning filmmaker. He's directed quite a few documentaries, including Cartel Land, which was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature. He was last at TIFF with his feature debut, A Private War, a biopic on journalist Marie Colvin. Hey, Matthew, there you are.
How's it going?
Welcome, welcome. I think your film has premiered. And now we are here celebrating the premiere and having a chance to chat with both of you. Welcome, Jose.
Hey, how are you?
Very good, very good. So I was telling you before, I loved your film. I love this documentary. Very rarely do you get to dance in your, at home in your living room, because there's so much joy in this film. It's just so textured. It feels so authentic. And I wanted you to tell us a little bit about how this project came to be, how you met, and why you both decided to work together on The Boy from Medellín. So, Jose, if you'd like to start, because I've heard Matthew's side, I'd love to hear yours.
Well, we had a lot of conversations before, I think, by cell phone, right? Or by, I think we was through FaceTime, and Matthew wanted to be sure that it was the right project. And I was like, what am I gonna do him to convince him? I knew that it was something different, right? And I just want him to, to meet me and maybe to catch up. And when we had the opportunity at Madison Square Garden, I think it was the first time we met personally. At that time I was going through a bad moment of anxiety, and he taught me how to breathe. We were talking about like, meditation and everything, and it was a special, really like cool connection, and uh, I didn't know it was gonna be so intense when it comes to start the film and the whole project, because I met him as a person, and I didn't, meet him as a director, when he was working. He's really passionate about what he does, so it was different, totally different. It's like me, one thing is me on stage, another one is me when I'm home, and but we really, got to know each other on the vibe, and then he called me. He was like, "Let's do this," and that's how everything started. Like catching vibes.
Yeah, that conversation at Madison Square Garden seemed to be like very important for both of you. Matthew, what convinced you there that you wanted to do this documentary?
Yeah, I mean, look, I knew obviously Jose's music. I knew who he was. I'd always wanted to do a music film, and then I think when I met him, I just realized so quickly what a special guy he was. He was so honest and transparent and clear about his own emotions and what he was going through. And I myself have dealt with anxiety and depression and other things for various reasons from the films I made. And I think we really, as Jose said, we really connected over that. And I think that from that bond, the basis of any documentary is trust. And I think really quickly we felt a bond, we felt that trust, and I felt like I'd be able to get the access that I needed to tell the story, and I think he felt comfortable with giving that to me. So we decided to do it together.
So, because the film does capture like a lot of vulnerable moments, Jose, you're in so many intimate moments. What was that like, and what gave you that trust?
I mean, it's the fact that they're, like they're like ninjas. There's a moment that you forgot, that you forget that they're. I think that's part of the magic that Matthew as a director and the whole team. Like there's moments that you definitely forget that they're around. And even if they're around, I cannot act. I'm not a type of guy that. I'm a human. I'm a human being. And the fact that I'm an artist, it doesn't take me out that from being a human. And I don't pretend to be nice. I don't pretend to be the most happy person. I don't pretend to be the cooler in the planet. I just, be me. And I have good moments. I have bad moments. I have good energies, some down energies. I have great happiness. Sometimes I'm kind of sad. Like I don't, I don't, I don't feel bad about show that I'm a human being. And my mom, she always raised me in a great way that she every time I see her, she's like, don't forget that you're a human being, and share that with the people, like, humanize your what you do, like show them that you're a real guy, like that you go through hard moments as anybody else in the world. Doesn't, like that everybody's the same.
Yeah, one of the things that you talk about in the film is about mental health issues, and it's incredible the work that you've done. And I know you're both really interested in destigmatizing mental health issues. And was that like a key part of this collaboration, that
Yeah,
understanding?
I think yes, because that's the way I met Matthew. I met Matthew through a anxiety moment and kind of depression. So that was the first impression. I was like just talking about him, but I was true. I was like, I'm going through this moment, and like I don't have to feel bad about it, and because it's, what I'm saying, the brain, it's another organ, like if like he needs me, I have a broken leg. You know, the same. I was going to outside. You know, is the brain not working on the same chemical balance that it used to be? You know, so I think that's why we connect, because I show him kind of my fears when he met me. You know, like I'm going to this, I'm going to that. You know, like, and maybe that was the click. You know, like maybe he was looking, he thought he was gonna look at like a superstar acting cool and be like, what's up, man, popping bottles, which is not bad, but I'm not that type. You know, I'm just me.
Yeah, I know. I love, what's another thing I love about the film is how you explore this authentic side, the Jose, and that, navigating Jose and J Balvin. And that comes out through the film. Jose, are you still with us?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's that's one of the moments that really, like, that's one of the things that really comes out through the film. And one of the things that I think I think a lot of people are really surprised about is just how open you are in the film. And then when you're talking about Matthew being a ninja, I think that's great. Matthew, how did you manage? Like, how did you do that? Because that's pretty. I never felt that your presence was, as a filmmaker, it was always like supportive, right? And as I'm watching the film, just curious about how you guys work together to elicit this, to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very challenging film for me because normally, I developed trust over months and months and months and months of filming. And for this film, we literally had 1 week to shoot. And, in terms of like financing, getting the film together, it all came together so fast. And so we literally were scrambling the week before to even get down to Colombia. And I said to myself, and I said to Jose, like, we have 1 week to shoot this film. And so, it was really important to get, build on the trust that we had in Madison Square Garden and all the conversations we had. And, right away we just started shooting. And, I never want to make the films about me. I don't find myself interesting. It was always going to be about Jose, and, we try as much as possible just to be, become a part of the fabric of his daily life. And, I don't think he knew that we were going to stay as long as we did every single day and shoot as much as we did every single day. But by the
end, they tricked me. They always were like, no, we're gonna be just like 3 hours, and 3 hours were really 20 hours. So that was like the hardest part. That was the hardest part for me, because I'm a really, I take care of my intimacy, and being at home, and, be with my people and my friends, and because I'm kind of popular in my country, I cannot go out. It's not the same that I used to be. So I'm basically always at home, and from one home to a friend that lives like 5 minutes away from here, so my social life, it's really small. And when I see, 11 people at my house with camera and everything, like I go to the shower and I see them, and, I go to my closet and I see them, it's privacy is gone for a minute, it's really gone, and you're like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, like, give me a moment at least, like, and with the camera going behind you, and that wasn't easy, because it's the first time that we do this, I'm not, when I used to see, I don't know, Kardashian stuff like that, I'm like, wow, they don't get 4 of this, and I don't know how they do it, but we did it, but it was hard. It was hard to get to know, to understand the system. Then when you start feeling like it become like a family, like they're there, everybody's doing their job, and and you just being real, you know.
So why did you decide to do this in the first place? Or why did you want to have? Yeah, why was this something that was attractive?
I mean, everything changed, you know. Like I thought it was gonna be more like a like a star story, you know, like a pop star or whatever, and because the situations that happened at that moment, everything changed,
Yeah.
and that's life, you know. Life is like that, you know. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know. We know what's going on right now, but in 1 second we don't know, right? So that's what this, you know, it's so special because uh maybe I think that Matthew had another idea, and when he got to Colombian, the whole situation, maybe everything changed for him too, you know. So yeah, I was thinking it was gonna be something more like chill, you know, and cooler, but it became something more real and more deep because life is like that. This is the real world.
Yeah, that must have been, I mean, so unexpected. It's just the week that you chose to film was exactly a pivotal week in your career. You know, I mean, you knew it was going to be emotional, right? Because it was a homecoming, but there was,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, but it
Oh,
was a lot of things that were out of my hands. You know, a lot of things happening around, a lot of problems in Colombia at that moment, you know, and so yeah, like it was a lot of stress. It wasn't just the concert, you know, it was the whole environment was just like kind of heavy at that moment.
yeah. No, and yeah, and then the world has gotten very heavy right now. Like we're still living through a very, very heavy
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, things
yes,
have changed
absolutely.
quite. Yeah, things have changed quite a lot. But yeah, but that capturing that moment in this documentary, I mean, I think this is a great document that you'll be able to look back on
Thank you.
and feel so happy that just that kind of magic that happened, that you had a camera there, and that something so resonant came from this documentary.
Hundred
And
percent.
that,
It's a
yeah.
special. It's a special, you know, and you might you might love me or hate me. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's just me. You know, like I'm not pretend to sell nothing but be real, you know, and with my mistakes and with my good and my bad things, you know, like uh this is not a movie, you know, where I'm acting, you know, you know, no one told me like, oh, you have to do this or you have to act like this. No, I was like, and even if they told me I can't, you know, because you're gonna see it, you're gonna feel it. You know, you can feel it on camera. You know, people are not stupid. They know when someone is being real or not. You know, at least you have that type of sensitive that when something is like is he's acting or it looks like the camera is there, so he's gonna be like more nice. Nah, you know, he got some stressful moments. You know, that normally not all the people will allow to like, yeah, you know, just show it because everybody just want to show the best face, you know, not with the social media and everything. Everybody just showing happy face and everything is perfect. And I don't know. I think 30% of the 100%, it's really showing realness about life. You know, the other is just like show me your best smile. You know, and I can't. You know, I just can't.
There's even a moment where you're like going to sleep with the camera on you, which I was like, oh my god, like you're just leave me alone, just turn the
No, no,
light
no, no,
off.
no. When the camera is in the top, like in the roof,
Yeah,
oh, I wanted to kick them out because that was the last thing I saw. You know, I was like, boom, the camera. I was like, oh my god, now I'm falling asleep. You know, but yeah, they captured those moments. You know, and that's magic. You know, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, I don't remember this. Where were they? You know, that's what I call them ninjas, because this moment that you don't see them, you don't feel them, you can smell them. Like they're absolutely ninjas, you know, and there's a lot of respect for the whole team, because it's the whole team around. You know, I don't know how many people were in the crew. I don't know, 20, 30? How many, Matthew?
I mean, altogether, yeah, it was an amazing international crew that we had. But you know, at any given time, it was like between 10 and 20. But we tried to keep the actual team that was filming around Jose quite small.
Mhm.
But you know, there's an amazing support team and amazing team for the concert, obviously, which was a huge.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And I think just to, you know, follow on what Jose said, I think it takes an enormous amount of courage to open up your life like the way he did, and I have just so much respect. And I think a lot of, you know, celebrity docs, a lot of, you know, big musician docs out there, you know, I feel like a lot of those situations where people are vulnerable feel, at least to me, quite staged. And you know, Jose really opened up his life in a way that I feel like a lot of people at his level of fame don't. And so I was just, you know, I was, and I continue to be just extremely grateful to him for doing that.
Yeah, and I think fans are going to be so happy to see that the authenticity there. I can imagine that it's going to be really, really very much appreciated.
But I think Jose and we obviously wanted to make a film for his fans, and I hope his fans love this film. But we also want to make it for just people who don't know anything about him, who've never met him. And I think hopefully the film plays both for his audience and for audiences that don't know him.
No, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's why. I mean, is that why Jose? Did you wanted to go with a filmmaker like Matthew to broaden the dialogue?
I mean, you know, I always want to work with the best.
Yeah.
You know, and in every aspect. You know, like and Scooter Brown, my manager, and Allison, and they told me how great Matthew was. You know, and of course I did my research and everything, and you know, it's a privilege. You know, it is a privilege. You know, as I tell you once again, it wasn't easy, but it's not Matthew's fault. It's that the whole environment was heavy, you know, at that moment, and we weren't acting, you know. So
Yeah.
that's you know, as real as it gets.
Yeah, one of the things that I mean, I've talked with Matthew about that I love and appreciate so much about the film too. I show a lot of Spanish language cinema. That's my niche. And my mother's from Colombia. My mother's from Bogota. Every time I'm showing, like films from Colombia, not all of the time, but there's so much of a focus on narcos or violence, and I was so happy to see this movie and giving another side to Colombia, another side to Medellin. There's a different face, and I know there's a lot of young producers that work in Colombia that are doing a lot of great work. But that is something that was very important and impactful about seeing the film. And I really wanted to, I wanted you to speak a little bit about that.
I mean, you know, like I was born in Medellin, Colombia, and of course, here's basically with everything started with the narcos thing, you know, around the world. And I was tired of that, you know, like all the new generation, you know, that I represent, you know, we don't embrace that, and we don't feel proud of whatever happens in the past with all these uh, narco things, right? So uh, it was a beautiful moment and a beautiful movie, real movie, if we can tell it like that, you know, that we're just showing the new face of Colombia as an entertainer and as a dreamer and as a hard worker, you know, like showing that you can achieve whatever you want as long as you go hard and work hard for it, you know, and as long as you have a vision and you work with discipline. So it's beautiful because it shows facts all the time, you know, and it's showing a positive face about our country, you know, because I'm tired of the same too, you know, like I'm tired, you know, I just want to show the world that we're more than that, way more than that, you know. So I'm proud that in this beautiful project, you know, in this movie, we can show a new face of Colombia, you know, show beautiful vibes, you know, people smiling, you know, how grateful I am with my people, how grateful is the people with me on the fact that we sharing love, you know, and we support each other and we feel proud of being, you know, from Medellin, Colombia. And and that's the dream, you know, making a statement with Matthew and the whole team about this, you know, like, oh wow, for the first time something from Medellin, Colombia that is not showing the same old thing, you know, that is showing a new face, a new genre, a new vibe, a new feeling, a new statement, you know.
Yeah, no, that comes through in the film, and I think um, it's very inspiring to see just a different facet of Colombia that we're not used to seeing in film, and I think is very important, and that's really why we're so one of the reasons so excited to show it at the film festival this year.
I'm
And
curious, you know, I know you made the question, but I want to make you one question, if I, if I can
of
do it,
course,
if I'm allowed. What's the message you get from this movie?
okay,
Yeah, the main message you feel, you know.
the main message I felt, it was questioning the artist's role, the role of the artist. I found that I know that both of you are artists working together, and that was really, really, I think, central to the film. There's also, you know, the joy of making art was. I mean, I'm going on. To me, what I really appreciated was seeing this other side of Colombia. Like I called one of my fellow programmers. I'm like, this is so important. You never get to see this. We have to show it.
Mhm.
And so that was to me what I really from personally felt. But yeah, the main message. I love this questioning of what's the artist's role in society. What should we do? You know, what should artists do? How much do you say? Who do you speak to? Who do
Yeah,
you speak for? Yeah, that's that question
that's what
was.
I definitely, and that's what I definitely learned in that moment of my life as an artist. That's the beautiful thing about this situation in the movie is that I learned my position. I didn't have a lot of idea because there's some moment you think you're just an entertainer, you know, that you just like give music and make people happy, but there's a moment when you have to show what's your how you feel about things, you know, and uh, and I learned that from since that moment, you know, and now I'm you have to see it, you know, and then you can check my Instagram and you'll be like, yes, he learned a lot of things.
Yeah, we I checked your Instagram just 2 days ago, and I've seen, and I wanted to. Can we go there next? How has that changed? So, because one of the things I said to Matthew, I can't believe how is it possible you happened to capture not just this really important concert, but a seminal moment in your development as an artist. I mean, that's kind of almost impossible, right? Because you were just together for a week, but there you have it. And if I don't believe in magic, but that kind of sounds magical,
It
right?
was, it was like even if Matthew was like, let's do this or let's try to find this situation, never gonna happen as perfect as it happened, you know, as beautiful and as real, you know, because we went to different places and you know like situation different go to like the hood and what the people from the hoods are thinking about me and about the situation and uh and that's when I basically like woke up. I'm like, whoa, people is really waiting for me to say things, you know. But I think it has to be a balance, you know. I don't want to be how can I say that? You know, like I'm not a superhero to save the world, but at least I have to do and show my part of what I think about things, you know, and try to make it with love, you know, not to make it worse. You know, try to show what I think and my side and my point of view. You know, I don't want to be blind no more. You know, like there's things happening in the world and there's some things. Everything matters the way you say it. You know, you can say whatever you want, but you have to know the way you want to say it. You know, you want to be smart about it, and you want to see it on too.
And so that is something that you're carrying, like you've obviously carried forward since the film. I saw your Instagram post, I think a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
with
happened with the police? Yeah,
shooting. Yeah,
yeah.
and so
I can't blame the whole police because it's
no,
not. Yeah, but there were human beings wearing a police uniform, and they were representing the police at that moment. You know, so we cannot judge the whole police, but those guys, you know, they have to be
yeah,
responsible of what they did. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. You were talking about a particular incident, and that incident was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. It is difficult navigating this realm with social media because it's really hard. Like, how do you say things concisely with depth and respect and with not going overboard? So,
Yeah, absolutely,
but I
absolutely.
think you talk about that a lot. I mean, that's one of the great things about the film is that, is that internal discussion. I mean, that discussion that you're happening and how that develops and it's really, really well done. Another thing about the film though is, I said I was dancing. I also cried during the film because it's so
Oh,
moving.
a lot of people cry. Like
Yeah,
definitely, like 99% of the people that watched it cry. Yeah, definitely,
yeah.
and that's beautiful because
It's
we're sharing
beautiful.
emotions.
Yeah, yeah. And the concert at the end is like it's really, really very impactful, and it's just that, yeah, that there's a joy to it, and there's also just this coming, these realizations that you're seeing someone go through, well, that you're seeing you go through. So all of that comes together very, very, very beautiful and very impactfully. Yay. No, I'm really excited about showing about, yeah, just how when we get this film out to the world, we do have people like from around the world that haven't been able to see. I know I've got a bunch of friends in Panama watching, in Colombia and Peru. So that's, I think it's going to be, yeah, a film. I'm excited to see how the film resonates when we get to see it further.
I can wait.
Yeah, it's going to be great. One of the, just, we've had all around the world, we've been experiencing, we've all been brought together. We're all going through this COVID pandemic. How has that, I know right now you're in Medellin. Has that in any way changed a little bit of, like, I don't know how you look at your art form or life in general?
I mean, everything has changed. You know, I had COVID. You know, I had it, and I think it's the most terrible thing you can have when it comes to a virus. You know, at least from my point of view. You know, because I never had something as hard in my body. You know, and it's not a joke. You know, people might say, yes, a political thing. It might be true, it might be not, but the virus is real. That's 100%. You know, and it really concerned me because it's very little. You know, it can kill you. You know, and you don't have to be with diabetes or having problems in your system. I just saw a lot of, and I've been talking with a lot of friends that 23 kids, 23 years old kids, they're kids to me, like young guys, 24, you know, with the in shape, super sport guys, and they die, you know. And when I felt the COVID in me, I was like, this is not a joke, and this is real, and really concerned me because you know, my mom, my grandfather, you know, my grandma, my family, my people, my neighbors. We don't know who's gonna get it worse, you know. And so I learned more to be more grateful and try to live more the present
Mm-hmm.
because, of course, like basically 90% of the planet didn't have agenda. You know, like what we're gonna do tomorrow, we don't know. You know, like what's gonna be tomorrow, we don't know. We have to live day by day. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the basically what I learned with all this COVID. You know, like quarantine. You know, like live more the present and tomorrow we don't know. You know, and be grateful about every simple thing. You know.
Yeah, I agree. It's been, yeah, really upending. I'm glad you're better.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and you've been better for a while, or like when?
Yeah, this is like my first week that I really feel way better. You know, because people talk about the COVID when you have the symptoms, but not after.
Right.
And after has a lot of things to, you know. It's really difficult for the people that have the whole symptoms, had the symptoms, you know. So it was really hard. It's basically like when you had like a. I was talking with the doctors and they told me like it feels like when you have like a heart attack, like you feel that you really like vulnerable, you know, like you can die at any moment because you feel that you survive to this when you have the whole symptoms, you know. So it's really scary. I have to be really real about it. Like I was really scared.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you were in Medellin the whole time?
Yes, the
Yeah,
whole time during quarantine, you know, taking care of myself and taking care of the rest,
yeah.
you know, 100%.
And Jose, you live in Medellin most of the time, or do you?
Yeah, I moved basically to Medellin again, you know.
Yeah,
It's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year because quarantine has been for 5 months now,
yeah.
6, I guess. So
I know it's a long time.
yeah, it's been a long time, you know.
Yeah. So how? Yeah, because the film is called "The Boy from Medellin," and just how important is your hometown, like where you're from?
It's really important because every time when I used to fly and go different places, like, oh, where you from, Medellin? Oh, Pablo Escobar, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
like, come on, bro.
yeah,
Like, no, we're better than that. You know, tell me about sports. Tell me about, you know, about artists like Botero. You know, tell me
yeah,
about, you know, great people. Don't talk to me about just the worst thing. You know, so since I was a kid, I always wanted to change that, and now that we have the platform to show my dreams and the fact that the people, you know, call me like El Niño de Medellin, you know, like that they really people take care of me, you know, like they love me, you know, like I feel their love, you know, I feel protected. If you see in this movie, I don't have bodyguards.
yeah,
I don't, and I won't, you know, like I don't. I feel secure in my country. You know, I feel loved by the people. You know, here and everywhere. You know, like they put the security when we go to shows, but it's because it's the system they do in every show. You know, but in my own life, when I'm on my own. You know, I'm with my people and my friends. You know, so that shows how I want to show and how I live my life. You know, just relax and meditating and reading and doing exercise and you know it's different because when people think about a reggaeton artist they might think that you know it's gonna be with the 20 bodyguards and you know the tiger waiting for me out in the door, you know, the door of my house, and it's not like that, you know. The closest tiger that I know is my girlfriend, you know. So you know, so yeah, you know, like I love this school in New Medellin because I love to represent my city. I love to show a new face of my country. I might not be the best example, but I'm trying to be a better person every day.
I love that. That's that's wonderful. Matthew, I'm just curious, what was like the most surprising thing that you learned about Jose during the, I don't know, or something challenging about making the documentary?
Oh, I mean, so many things. I went in the film with no agenda, with no goal in mind, with no script, with no plan. I just wanted to see what would happen. And I think for me, I've made a lot of like really heavy films about a lot of heavy topics, and so I was excited to just sort of go down and see Medellín and to see Jose's life and to see the build up to this amazing show. And I don't think any of us knew what would happen when we actually landed in Medellín from Mexico City. And so the film just took on a whole new meaning the second we landed there. And I think just like adapting my mind and my brain around like how Jose was contemplating all that was happening in his country and how it was affecting him and how it was affecting his anxiety and his soul and his mind. And I just wanted to quickly adapt our filmmaking style to that. I never thought that the film would be a verite film as much as it is now. I thought it'd be more. We did a lot of interviews, we did a lot of other things while we were there. But ultimately, it really became a very intimate portrait because Jose let us in, and all these things happened while we were there, and so it was really a dance that of just again adapting to the reality on the ground. And I say this with every film I make, but a mentor of mine said, if you end up with the story you started with, then you weren't listening along the way, and I think that is absolutely true. Here is, don't be dogmatic. Let this story, let the situation dictate where to go, and that absolutely happened with this film.
I was wondering one thing at the beginning. You said when you met, you taught Jose some breathing. Jose, do you still use this?
I just did it. Yeah, yes. 4-7-8.
It's for Matthew. Can you tell us all so we can all learn this magic?
It's not mine.
I do pranayama 15. I do pranayama 15 minutes. Then I do meditation, and after that I do the 4-7-8.
So it's in through your nose for 4 seconds, then you hold for 7, and then out through your mouth for 8, and then you repeat that 4 times. It's not my technique. It's actually was developed by Dr. Andrew Weil here in the U.S., but and he adopted it from a number of other sources. But yeah, I do it every morning when I wake up, every night before I go to bed. Jose and I did it in the green room at Madison Square Garden together, and yeah.
I love it. I love it. And well, that's how we'll end with a breathing technique. I want to thank you both for being with us today, for sharing your film with us. We're so excited to show it at TIFF, and for sharing this time with us and talking about the film, about life, and just for this generosity that you've both shared with us today.
And I just want to quickly thank you guys for having the film. I know it's such a difficult time for everyone, and obviously this is the first time we've had a virtual festival. So thank you for having us, for having the film, and thank you to Jose, obviously, for letting me make this film. And also we had an amazing crew in Colombia that I wanted to thank that is responsible for this film. And so I'm really grateful to everyone who worked on it. So yeah, thank you.
Gracias. Thank you both.
Gracias a ti. Un placer. Thank you, everyone.